Guys, you got to understand that my boy LG talked about it too. You know, you're psychologically conditioned and trained into a way of thinking. You know, my dad, he writes books. He's been doing it my whole life. You go try to talk to him about stuff, and he's been writing books about God and Jesus that he wants to publish and sell to influence everybody, so they perceive his perception of God and Jesus as one of the best in the world. And you're like, Jesus never published a book or wrote one down. He stood publicly and he corrected people's bad thoughts, words, and actions by sharing his good thoughts, words, and then putting them into action, right? That's why I tell him, why give that company $2,000 to you sit down for months and write on a book and then have it published and then sold for money by the people that don't think or speak or act like Jesus. That's why I pick up my phone and go on YouTube and correct their technology. So it's just I wasn't biologically and conditioned and trained into being a Roman. And so I'm not like Great Caesar's ghost. And what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. And so I have to be very patient with people. And the one person that they gave me as my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is J-Lo's butt, right? J-Lo's butt. And it's a butt. I've had butts. Lots of butts. Not butts. 8, that's a lot to me. Okay, sir. 8 butts is a lot of butts. Okay. Maybe not to a slut bag who's a professional basketball player and can't control his dick, but to a man who wanted to marry his school sweetheart and love her his whole life. And so, yeah, 8 is a lot. It's like, God dang it. When will I, why do I, but why am I lost as a lamb? Where do, is this a dream? Am I here? Where are you? Right? So, to me, it's torture to have tried 8 times and got it not, not what I wanted, and because we all need it, We need holy covenants to live the love of the truth of faith, right? So 8 times didn't get one, And a couple times wasn't even trying for a holy covenant, was just trying to get home and not get pneumonia in Wyoming, just didn't mean to, was just trying to help a friend get over the depression of not being able to date and marry a professional basketball player. I wasn't trying to, working on my night moves, didn't even see it coming. And that typically happened to me. Okay. Usually when it happens, like, I didn't see that coming. When did I see it coming? Maria Barnes. Okay. She came up and said, I'm a big girl and you got needs and I got needs, and I would like you to come and share needs at a hotel room I have, because my brother won the lottery in Ohio and Florida, because he have friends in the lottery business, and he has a suite in Scottsdale, and he gave it to me for a week. You want to join me in it? It's like, yes. I can't tell you how many times yes. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for what you're showing me right now. And she was like 13 or 14 years older than me. And she wanted something, and she knew that my ex-wife was black, and and so forth. And so she came up and she said, do you like what you see? I like what I see. You want to take care of each other's needs? And I said, I love you. Yeah. So no, that's, but that's happened to me with white girls too. I had the one redhead whose husband was in an open marriage, and her husband but that was different. If she'd walked up to me and said, my brother you want to have sex, I would have said, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. Okay. You're not married. Okay. Can do. Now, I don't do open marriages, but I do take care of another person sexually when they ask to be taken care of sexually, and they're respectful in the way they do it. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. That was then. This is now. Now, I'm a living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, and I performed what was necessary for us to have the world communications to deliver ourselves from evil, from philanthropy, so we can actually, like I told Patrick when he was a kid, it's just not, sex is just sex if you can't stay and make her breakfast and want to be with her every day. And I wanted that with Maria after we were together, but I knew we were in different directions and going different things, and she wouldn't be happy in the world I could offer her to be in and I would be miserable in the world she wanted to be in. I didn't want to go to Atlanta or Orlando and live in Nick Cannon world. That would have drove me crazy. I already did that when I was in the military. I don't want to get in a dick measuring contest where all the women come up and say, I'd rather be with you, even though he's got a 9-inch dick and you're 5 3/4. You're a better lover than he is. Yeah, I know. I've known that for a long time. But when somebody loves you, but I wouldn't, and I'd always tell them that, I wouldn't be a better lover than him if I had sex with you and Maria at the same time. Would have Mary and Maria liked having the sex at the same time with you? I don't want to be like King David and Solomon and Lord Saladin. I want to live a rational world with sane people that can use communication to apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer. I don't want to be bombed back into the Stone Age because everybody at the Quorum of the 12 and NASA sucks. Are you standing up for Lord's Prayer? Then I stand by my statement. Do you understand? And the whole thing of power is not power when I have faithful forms of communication of helping sustain nature through the truth of creation that helps my body recover from abuse that I didn't inflict on myself better than people that inflicted on themselves through, Chadwick Boseman, and they tell me all the time, he was aggressive and in sex cult tribal violence, so he stressed himself to death with his cancer because he had no intention on stopping the fight over tribalism. Oh, snap, Daddy Dragon, snap. Same thing happened with Justin Nail. I tried to talk him out of it. Now, I was a crazy person and a pervert, and that hurt. Justin's Killian's dad and Melissa's husband. Okay, he was a total ass to me, and he got on my last nerve. But I really like Killian. But every time I tried to talk Killian, he did the same thing that Elijah Benegas does to me. Hey, don't say that. My dad does to me and Jerry does to me. Don't say shit in front of my mom. Okay, but we're not living the Lord's Prayer and this shit is fucked up. But okay, I'm not going through Solomon's Temple. So I can say this shit is fucked up in my head because Jesus is telling me it, but I can't tell it to your mom. All right. Okay, so we're telling our mom that having money for sexual procreation that rapes little girls to death in Mexico is all right with Jesus and me and the Doobie Brothers. Jesus is just all right with me. See why I'm the Messiah and why other people that don't understand the truth of the Messiah are not. And I adore them. Okay, I completely adore them. Okay, and Jennifer Lopez is wrong. Okay, they'll threaten to... No. You stand up for the Lord's Prayer with me and everybody sees it and we trend it overnight. They're not going to be able to kill Lupe, David. No, it's not going to happen. No. Have you even tried? No. The reason why Chadwick Boseman died from cancer was because of his tribalism. The reason why a lot of these celebrities that think they want to recognize Parsons die from a disease is because they're afraid of dying from disease. Don't be afraid of dying from disease. You stand up for Parsons for the Lord's Prayer. The likelihood that you're going to die from a stress-related, toxic, genocidal disease are highly unlikely because those conditions are no longer going to be present. Oh, God dang, this is so freaking insidious. There is no spoon. When they say there is no spoon, it's the whole thing like I told you about with the bowl floating backwards in the Buddha's meditation. That does not happen. So it's people inventing mythology to replace faith based on reality with mythology. There is no spoon. You're seeing me have a spoon and bend the spoon because you're seeing what is not there that does not exist. That's what it means. I put the lady down by the river. You're still carrying her. Son of a biscuit here. I have to explain everything to everybody. I'm tired. I'm more tired than Mel Brooks and Madeline Kahn ever thought of. And it was Madeline Kahn, not on History of the World Part 1, but Blazing Saddles. But that's what you took from that? Seriously? It drives me nuts. They do that all the time. He was wrong. It was Blazing Saddles and not History of the World. History of the World was yes, no, yes. Right. And so, but, shit. They're stupid. It's like, okay, so I got the wrong movie, but you know what I was talking about. Right. Potato. Yeah. We arrived at 7. It was 8. Oh, yes, like the whole thing with the little baby rattlesnake, we got in the car and I was holding it and Pancha grabbed it and was holding it and then Dad grabbed it and threw it out. And she says, he grabbed it out of my hand and threw it out, not yours. I was like, yeah, you grabbed it out of mine and then he grabbed out yours and threw it away. Okay. Yeah, that's the way it happened. But it's still, I was holding it, playing with it. Somebody grabbed it out of my hand, and then Dad grabbed it out. Yeah, it was fast. Oh my gosh, my dad has fast hands. I was like, damn, you'd knock Muhammad Ali out. You didn't even see it coming. It was his little daughter holding a baby rattlesnake, and they're more poisonous than adult rattlesnakes. It wasn't scared of us. We were kids. Oh, it's a little baby worm that moves real fast. And it was a baby rattlesnake. Yeah, oh boy. Lummies. Your mama was a lush and your daddy was a dummy. Dad wasn't as big of a dummy as we thought. Mom wasn't a lush. No, she would drink, but she didn't know. She'd drink sometimes to forget about life for a while, but she wasn't a lush. No, not at all. She was too busy and tired, and life was too hard. Yeah, because of the abuse of the virtual presence of all the corporations that refused the eternal spirit of her son and still doing so. Yeah. Well, what can I say? It's really difficult when you're explaining to people that you're the Messiah and they're telling you that they are. And you're looking at them and going, no, you're not. And yes, I am. And you need to quit being an egomaniac and saying you're Jesus because Jesus is God. Okay, God's omniscient and omnipotent, and Jesus is the Messiah that saves us from people that have turned God into their head. That's why I'm the Messiah. And don't get to understand, you tell people that, and they're like, what? Let me get this. Okay, I'm telling you God's omniscient and omnipotent, and I'm the guy who explains that to people to save people from people making a God in their head and killing people over the God in their head, like John Calvin and the Pope and Hitler and all those, okay? And you keep telling me I'm an egomaniac because I'm telling you that I'm God. And I never said I was God. I said I was the man who's the eternal, righteous, humble spirit of the man that gives us faith in omniscient, omnipotent God and doesn't turn God into a person in their head. The person that has a person in their head that's God is you. So you're saying you're Jesus and you're saying you're God. I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm saying I'm Earl, but me and Jesus share the same spirit that gives people faith in God and doesn't trap the glory of God in our head. Okay, do you understand? No, obviously Richard Dawkins and Stephen Hawking and Chris Hitchens and Sam Harris don't understand this. Because if they did understand this, they'd stand up for the deliverance of evil from the Lord's Prayer and stop murdering people that think they're God in their head because there is no God. So there's no spoon. Okay. No, there is no spoon being bent with someone's mind. Can they do that? I don't know, don't care. I could give fuck less about the Force. Okay, use the Force. Like, they're always trying to do that. What can you do for what powers? Guys, because I have the capacity to manipulate energy better than most people, to protect myself from other people that want to manipulate energy to manipulate people, doesn't mean I'm powerful. It just means that I'm righteous and I'm holy and I'm good and I'm kind. I'm cooking for you, okay? That's why I'm connecting to the source man in Japan and he no talk to you because you full of shit, okay? Why you piss off? Do you think you ever been pissed off? I love him so much. He's my dog. He's my dog. And I can say that. Suzuki, like, yeah, cool. Hey, dog. What's up, dog? And we know we're not dogs, but we know it's a term of endearment between people that are abused and because they've been treated like dogs, right? But that old white guy at Fiesta Foods, you calling it? You remember how old you are? I was like, yeah, I'm in my 50s, and I call Cesar and Chris my dog. He got all indignant with me, and I'm like, what? Because I'm an old white guy, I'm supposed to be an old bigoted, fucked up bastard. What did you call your assholes you hang out with, asshole? You're not my dog. You're too big of an asshole to be my dog, right? That's how I was. I was like, fuck you. Get out of here. How dare you come and judge the terms of endearment and affection that me and Chris Baldwin and Cesar Suarez have for each other? Okay. You had no right to come in here and tell us we can't call each other, hey, bro, what's up, my nigger? What's up, my redneck? Okay. Whatever we want to say in terms of endearment to each other because of how we show bonds of fellowship and affection for each other is between us, me, myself, and I. Get your fucking app for your bank out of our house. Get out of our, this ain't our house. This is a killing field for food held hostage by mass murderers that agree with it to the Supreme Court that a cell phone tower that causes cancer and people next to it in their domicile is a public utility for rich people to murder with money and a virtual presence from assholes. Yeah, you ain't my dog. Get the fuck out of here. You're not my nigga like Anthony Gaines. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Okay? Fuck you. Okay? What's up, dog? What's up? All right. No, I've never had, see, my nigga was a sign of endearment through survival through tribalism. Okay? I've never called anybody my redneck or my hillbilly or, nothing like that. And like I was trying to say in one of those videos and got distracted the other night, about what I hated about the rodeo, it was the rich kid with all the boots. And I think I did cover it, the $50 goddamn boots. No, my parents get, we had to have Tough Skins, Converse All-Stars. And Converse All-Stars are cheaper. And boots are expensive. You can get a pair of Tough Skins and, and whatever for, at Kmart for like $10. You in order to wear the other stuff that rich kid was wearing. He's trying to act like a cowboy. It's like, how many cowboys that rode drag and almost got killed getting the beef to the market for the bitch that has the $50 cowboy boots and the $50 shirts and the $50 jeans? Okay. Poor people that just, wore what they could wear. And so, just because cowboy boots and cowboy things were in style doesn't mean they always were. Right? Those were poor guys that could be murdered at any time trying to pay extortion and get the beef for extortion to people that held it for extortion because we weren't living the Lord's Prayer. Cowboys ain't easy to love and they're harder to hold because they've had to accept bullshit because of diamonds and gold. But we'd rather give you a song, right? I saw the light, no more dark. And I thank the trail boss up in the sky for sparing me from the stampede. Stampede, cry stampede. The thing that a cowboy fears the most is stampede. Which is better than Master's Call, but they all do the reaction for Master's Call. But Stampede's better, yeah. Well, it's just more basic. Yeah, cowboys are like that. All you want to hear is stampede. Cattle are starting to mill around. Their bells strike fear in my heart. If the storm lasts very much longer, there's bound to be a stampede. And that's not cool. Yeah. Well, the cattle are going away. You're not going to get paid. You could possibly get killed in trying to keep the cattle on the thing to get them to market. We're living the Lord's Prayer. You don't have to thank the trail boss up in the sky for the money to sell the record to pay your extortion. Hey, and then we keep the planes on the ground and we don't kill Patsy Cline. We don't kill Hacksaw Hawkins. And we don't have to pay to dispose of dead bottles to see your body as a commodity. Yeah, that's fucked up, isn't it? Yeah. Hey, is that a memorial of all the dead people that were murdered because we weren't living the Lord's Prayer underground in Washington, D.C.? Hi, it's Linda Creed. Go underground, young man. People don't make the world go round. People are on the world, and they go around on it. Sure, you'd be right in thinking the sun does rise, and it doesn't. No. The planet goes around the sun, and it turns towards it and away from it, from the part where you're standing on it, held down by gravity. I'm a victim of gravity. So it's kind of neat, when you sit and look at it. That we're basically standing like, this. We're not standing up. We're standing on. Isn't that neat? That's Neil deGrasse Tyson there. Yeah, you're not standing up. You're standing on. You're standing on the surface of the earth. You're not standing up. Well, technically, you are standing up because when you're laying down because of gravity has you laying down on your bed. Then you stand up, okay, but you're standing on. And it's at a curvature, so you're standing on even if it's flat or level. Do you see? It's neat. When you sit down and look at it, it's like, What? And then you don't always know if it's at a curvature or a flat. It's just there are certain points of it that do, but certain points are different because of the topography of the Earth. You know, you have a mountain. First, there's a mountain. One's going this direction, one's going that. You know, it's a lot like when you study Pluto and you see what's happening with the objects and how they're held together through the forces of gravity that hold it to. You see what I'm saying? And so it's kind of neat. So you literally are standing on a level surface, but the level surface may be on a curve. But because of the way gravity is forcing you to be within the atmosphere and being held down to the, which you need to, I need you to live, Bernadette. Right. So it's really cool. It's kind of like listening to Feynman talk, but not as condescending and more fun because we're more human. Yeah. Okay. Neil, you're a tough kid. And I do like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I instantly liked him from the time I saw him on Jay Leno. And Amy was sitting there. We were going to have sex. And I was going to have sex with my wife. And he started talking about celestial bodies going by and being attracted to the planet to have to cause a global changing event because things are out of balance. Well, he wasn't saying that, but I knew what he was talking about, and I'm saying what he was talking about. Right? So and I was like, oh, good. He's talking about stuff that concerns me, like the fishbowl at grandma's and exponential growth, right? So I'm sitting there, and I couldn't, I was going to have sex with Amy, which I really enjoy, right? And we stopped, and she listened. She liked him, too. She was like, wow, this is, okay. So this is very important. Yeah, that concerns me. If it gets caught in the keyhole and that big rock comes and hits the planet, that can kill me and my kids or make life very difficult for me and my kids. It's like, you do have a heart. Okay. Little Susie Barrett, right? Oh, no, she loves her kids. She just gets real scared and selfish because she's surrounded by scary, selfish people that get scared of everything, including their own shadow, a lot. And so, yeah, and we were at Fort Huachuca, and she was Stockholm Syndrome into the gang by a bunch of people. I can fuck better than we can. If I was a fucker, I don't know. I know. Because I always told that to the girls in the military. No. What makes me desirable as a lover because I'm not a fucker. He is... How can you be the only good fucker is a dead fucker. Stop being a fucker and love. Then you won't have the best fucker reputation. Well, what kind of reputation is that? Hi, I made off Hitler's left testicle. Right? Oh, wow. And you're proud of that? Yeah, they always are. I've got more money than Davy fucking Crockett. Okay, they're fucking nuts. Okay, they're insane. And it's real hard to explain it to them. Because they've got Feynman issues. Oh, no, I'm smarter than you. Yeah, you're a better fucker than me. I get it. But the thing about it is how the only good fucker is a dead fucker, like the only good liar is a dead liar. So kill the liar in your head. Holy jihad, Batman. Live the Lord's Prayer. Sustain it with the Psalms and the Proverbs there. It's the pillars of faith. There's just an argument because of tribalism, because I'm a better fucker than he is, and your dad can beat up his dad, and his dad can beat up your dad, and we're all fucked. Yes, until we live the Lord's Prayer to deliver ourselves from evil, to sustain it with the faith of Psalms, and to live the faith of Psalms and sustain it with the wisdom of Proverbs there. There you go. Bam! Beat me up, Scotty. I'd like a clone of Nichelle Nichols and a bottle of Chianti. Just kidding around and joking. I hate booze. I despise booze. No. And I don't want a clone of Nichelle Nichols. What if Nichelle Nichols isn't into me? Then I have a clone who wants to have sex with William Shatner. And I'm like, well, doesn't everybody want to have sex with William Shatner on Star Trek? According to the Screenwriters Guild, yes. Okay. It's funny. It's funny. What do you know for funny? I got Shatner laughing here in my head. That's funny. It is. Thank you. You're welcome. No, Picard better than Kirk. They all had ego problems, when you watch the show, but you felt a certain kind of empathy for them and their situations that they're stuck in. Like the captain who almost gets blown up by the furnace guy with the green arrow and the Supergirl on the Green Lantern would good job. And you're like watching it going, Captain, he's like, you don't have to go blow up okay. if you don't blow up the invention, we'll all blow up. Okay, if I don't destroy the invention will destroy us all. How about we just live the Lord's Prayer and stop building the inventions to destroy us all, because I want to control all with the ring, the wearer of the ring, and the bearer of the ring. How about we do that? How about we think intelligently, speak intelligently, live intelligently, then we don't build the next great invention to save us from the last great invention that controlled us all with no controls over the money, because money's not control. It's like, you can't control your penis, can you? No, my big penis is my bank account. Oh, crypto. Fortune favors the brave. You're not Superman's dog. Secret Lives of Heroes' Pets. Go away. Go away, little girl. Right? So you have to it's hard to get across to people that they're insane, because they're still in the toilet paper line in ancient Russia. Umafazo. I would love to meet Max and Emmy's mom today. I would love to is that an Escalade? Does it have iHeartRadio? Did you bring Kate? Okay, that would be great. Okay, nice to meet you. Stop looking at me like that. Stop crying. You're like the little Japanese ladies in Suzuki's Village. I know, my beautiful body. I get it. Okay. I'm already self-conscious enough. Yeah, no, because my buddy John Najim, he ate Chef Boyardee by the case and drank Diet Cokes by the case. And he wouldn't exercise. And he had this body that I have now. And I thought to myself, God, that'd be horrible. Why does he do that? Even if you're not athletic, just get up and... No, he didn't want to live. He didn't like to live because he couldn't compete. And he was always scared because aggressive people always had to be his hero, and he always had to be the victim for them to be heroes. And I would try to explain it to him. No, your government doesn't like you. Barack Obama doesn't. And he would tell me, what you need to do is get a government card, go down on a bus, get an extortion gig, be happy that I have a government that gives me a card to go down on a bus to get an extortion code to pay them to live here, because they refuse to live the Lord's Prayer of me, because they're egomaniacs that suck. And you explain that to him. He's like, you just got an ego problem. I got an ego problem. Oh, Big Bang Theory me this and Spock me that, and come from aliens from the sky that are greater than I, that explain intelligence and reason better than I do, and save me with your great inventions. Wow! Don't shake whatever part it gets you. It might be its penis. Okay, do you understand? Don't do it. Don't take it. Hey, touch my penis. No, it's like that guy on Facebook. Well, you can go ahead and touch it when he's walking with an erection. I didn't say that to the little kid with the Frisbees. I said he could go get his Frisbees, and I wanted to get out of my sweatpants and go back to putting my penis in and out of Law's vagina and all the kids listening to it in the backyard. I wouldn't. No, I won't. No. I hear people having sex. I go the other way. As much as I'm like, lucky son of a bitch, but there is no such thing as luck. That's not fair. It seems unfair when there's affection and romance everywhere and there's none for you. Some guys have all the droids. Some guys have all the cell phone towers. Some women are just as fucked up as those guys. I don't want to have sex with them, and I don't want Judy in disguise. No, it's Julie. No, who's Julie? No, I'm not Lisa. My name is Julie. I'm confused. They all are. They think money's real. They're dumb as a box of rocks. Okay, guys, I love you. If you're entertained by these, you're welcome. I want the Gospels to be, fun to learn from. If you're not entertained by these, you're a complete asshole who has a cell phone tower telling us what to do with money because it's a public utility for genocide. And I'm under no obligation to tell you the truth because your laws are an invention of your genocide operations. But since I believe in the Lord and have faith in God, I am the way, the truth, and life, and I will save people from growing up to be murdering assholes like you. If you don't believe that, well, George Strait is going to sell you some oceanfront property right near the Yuma program. You guys rather jump up and down and knock all the scum Diegos off the map. It's a joke. It's from Battle Wars with the DJs in the cities for economic stupidity. Okay, I love you. Back in the day when we were fucked in the head, we're not fucked in the head anymore. Don't ever wish you were fucked in the head again. Okay, I love you. All right, peace.